Hi guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're watching from. This is TJ. I welcome you once again to the Citadel of Wisdom. In our previous video, we're examining why are we like this. Taking a root cause analysis approach to unravel the Nigerian problems. Sit down today as we continue in the second part of that presentation. Nigeria began a journey to nationhood after amalgamation. And now, they made attempts to establish laws and order through which the nation will be governed. And this was done through various constitutional conferences. Altogether, Nigeria had 3 pre-independence, 1 at independence, and 4 post-independence constitution. This was an attempt to make Nigeria a nation. This was an attempt to make Nigeria and Nigerians to have a sense of belonging in the geographical entity that was formulated by the British. The pre-independence constitution includes the Clifford Constitution of 1922. And that was when the idea of voting, the concept of voting was introduced in the Legislative Council, even though it was dominated by the British. In 1946, we had the Richards Constitution, which expanded the Legislative Council and created other houses called the Houses of Assembly at the 3 regions of the country called Nigeria, namely the Western region, the Eastern region, and the Northern region. The Richards Constitution recognized that Nigeria is a country of different people, different nations. It recognized the diversity and therefore promoted regionalism instead of federalism. But this was suspended in 1950 because each region wanted greater autonomy for themselves. In 1951, we had the Macpherson Constitution, and this was enacted to correct the mistakes of the previous one. The Macpherson Constitution began the inclusion of Nigerians in the constitution-making process. There were consultations with the people, even up to the village levels, and it's on record that viewpoints arising from the Southwest, from the Ibadan Conference of 1950, led to the establishment of this constitution. Federal House was created, and it also provided for regional legislatures. These regional legislatures were designed according to the desires of each region. For example, the Western region wanted bicameral legislature, and that was what it got. Similarly, the Northern region had bicameral legislature, but the Eastern region decided to have a unicameral legislature, and that was it. There was no force on anyone, and that was still done in the colonial era. The third constitution was in 1954, and that was the Littleton Constitution. The Littleton Constitution was proposed by, the need for that was proposed by Anthony Enahoro, and at that time he already had one eye on the independence by 1956. But what happened? Representatives from northern Nigeria, they opposed it because they felt the North was not ready for independence in 1956. And this led to the idea of having a conference in London. So the conference was held in London, where issues were addressed. Negotiations took place because the North had already threatened to break away from Nigeria, from the Union. So there was negotiation, there was people compromised, and there was a resolution. After negotiation, they addressed and settled areas of disagreements, and the Constitution was enacted. This Constitution, called the Littleton's Constitution, it established the federal system of government, and the federating unit comprised of the northern region, the western region, the eastern region, and the southern Cameroon. That constitution, the constitution made Lagos to become the capital of Nigeria. It was the Littleton Constitution that firmly established Lagos as the federal capital in 1954. So therefore, the journey to nationhood began with negotiation prior to independence. As part of the outcome of that negotiation, which brought about that constitution, was that regions were allowed to self-govern themselves. The western and eastern region started their self-governance in 1957, and the northern region began to govern themselves 2 years after. That's 1959. Why the people of southern Cameroon decided that they don't want to be part of Nigeria any longer, so they opted out. They opted out of Nigeria, and that was done through a referendum in 1957. So that's self-determination. In 1960 was the Independence Constitution, which was enacted for the purpose of completely removing foreign influence from the government of Nigeria. That constitution, the Independence Constitution of 1960, created dual executives, known as the parliamentary system of government, where we had the ceremonial head of states, who was representing the Queen of England, who happens to be the nominal, the head of state happens to be the nominal head of state representing the Queen of England. And then we also have the head of government with executive power, which is called the Prime Minister. So at that time, at independence, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was the head of state representing the Queen of England. He was the ceremonial president, while Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa became the Prime Minister of Nigeria with executive power. Now, in 1963, Nigeria became a republic. Remember, we are examining the journey to nationhood. The 1963 Constitution is called the Republican Constitution, and that was enacted when Nigeria became a republic in line with July 25 and July 26, 1963 Constitutional Conference, which was held in Lagos. That constitution finally removed Queen Elizabeth II as the nominal head of state and Queen of Nigeria. The Republican Constitution turned Nigeria to a sovereign state. It established the Supreme Court as the highest court of the land. It expanded membership of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And it created the fourth region called the Midwestern region, which comprises of the present-day Edo and Delta states. In 1979, we had the Presidential Constitution. The Presidential Constitution, which was a decree in 1978. That was a constitution that was prepared to transfer government from military to civilian rule. And that Constitution of 1979 is what was later transformed by the General Abdulsalami Abubakar regime into 1999 Constitution. All that was done was to take that Constitution of 1979, created by 49 members, headed by F.R.A. Williams, and amended by Justice Udo Duma, and was instituted on October 1st, 1979. So that Constitution was the Constitution, the 1979 Constitution was the one that ended the parliamentary system of government and ushered in the presidential system. That same Constitution is what was translated by Abdulsalami Abubakar into 1999 Constitution. Now, it is important to note this concerning the journey to nationhood. We need to remember that the military takeover through the 1966 coup and counter-coup actually put an end to the parliamentary system of government and made Nigeria a unitary government. Now, it is important to also note that the build-up from the riot of northern Nigeria after the abolition of the Republican Constitution, that is the federal system, by Aguiyi Ironsi, An establishment of the unitary government led to the riot and disturbances in several parts of the North, particularly on September 26, 1966. It is important to know that riot was what led to the killing of Igbo people living in the North and later culminated to the Nigerian Civil War, which started on the 6th of August 1967 and ended on the 13th of January 1970. Why are we reminding ourselves of this? There was a journey to nationhood based on negotiation, based on establishment of constitutional systems, review, at some period of time to bring about improvement on how the nation evolved. But this nation called Nigeria, that was given independence on the 1st of October 1960, got killed in 1966 when the basis of unity, the basis, the tripod upon which Nigeria was standing, which was the federal system of government, when that tripod was broken and destroyed, and a unitary system of government was established. It is important to note that we are asking, why are we like this? And how did we get here? In a nation that was not put together by the people themselves, but by their colonial masters. And the people themselves have gone through processes to make that country work for them through negotiations and resolutions. Today, what do we hear? Listen to this.
Nigeria is for all of us. Its unity is not negotiable, and its ultimate success can only be achieved if we all come together with a common goal of having peace and prosperity for our nation.
Take a listen to this also, and it will amaze you. Why are we like this?
When we were in the military, we talked about settled issues about Nigeria. The unity of Nigeria, as far as we were concerned, was a settled issue. Presidentialism was a settled issue. Market economy, free market, was not socialism, was a settled issue. The federation also is a settled issue. Nobody will come and say, Nigeria is no longer a federation or something.
When you say settled issue, are you saying in another way that it's non-negotiable? Because that seems to have, that's the refrain. But some argue that it should be negotiable.
No.
That we should sit down at the table. If we decide to be one, then we'll stay one. If we still want to go our separate ways, why not?
No. We decided to be one. How many years ago? About 51 years ago. And we have been in that position for the last 51 years. Why should we keep on repeating? Let's sit down. You can have not less than 100 conferences in this country that Nigerians themselves sat down and talked about on how to remain one, how to work with the federating units in the country, how to operate locally, and so on and so forth. I think there are issues that we shouldn't be talking about them now.
Yeah, guys, here comes the question. If the unity of Nigeria is a settled issue. Yeah, it is good to be united, but Nigeria at independence was a product of negotiation. And somebody saying, when we were in the military, there are certain issues that we are regarded as a settled issue, including the unity of Nigeria. And these military people, even in Agbada today, are still telling us that the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. The question will be, the Nigeria that was negotiated, why was it changed? Why did they kill it? Why did they give us another one that cannot be negotiated, that is not working for anybody else but them? Yet they are saying we cannot talk about it. In the next video, you're going to hear more. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to our channel, Citadel of Wisdom with TJ. Click on the likes button, turn on your notification button, share our videos so that our people can be liberated from the bondage of ignorance. What you don't know is what kill you. If you know, you will be able to fashion out what to do about it to move forward as a people. I know you, my viewers, are Citadel of Wisdom with TJ. You are wise people. But as I will always say and do, I will always want to drop some wisdom in your cup. See you next time.